when you can afford it, get people into your business that are good at doing things that you're not good at doing or things that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
For instance, I don't want anything to do with accounting.
Yeah.
So
Who
I have
does?
good accountants in my business that
Yeah.
take care of all that work.
Yeah.
Where I want to play is product development, marketing.
Yeah.
That's my space.
Yeah.
And, be good to the team, take the team on the journey.
Hello and welcome to the Off-Grid Down Under podcast and video series. Hey, and welcome back to the series. We have a really special guest today. We've already chatted to Vaughan before on episode 3, but I really wanted to get you back, Vaughan. And he is the owner of MDC Campers and Caravans. And it was such a good session that we did before. And I know a lot of the comments we got was that they want to know more about you personally and hear a lot more about the story behind MDC, but about the story behind you, the man. So I'm going to ask some pretty deep diving questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. And thank you for having me back again. I do have the privilege of being the first person that you have interviewed twice on this podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. And thanks for having me back.
Oh, you're most welcome. So we might as well start kind of where we left off, because last time when we were speaking, we spoke a lot about how it came to be, how you were in the world, you were a croupier at the casino, and that you were importing solar lights, and then that became the Pee-wee motorcycles and go-karts, and then you just happened to get the tents that went on to the agricultural trailers that we talked about. Can you just elaborate a little bit more on that? Like, at what point did you just go, I'm onto a winner here, this is what I'm going to do? Because you had so many products that you were bringing in, I reckon you're probably making a bit of money doing all of it. What made you stop and settle on camper trailers initially?
Yeah, so the initial brand was Market Direct, and we had lots of different things under the Market Direct brand. So we'd done, obviously, the mini bikes, ATVs, go-karts, farm equipment like generators, high-pressure pumps, lots of various things that we sort of tried. And then we fell into the camper trailer tent that we attached to a garden variety trailer, and that was something that we could put into the market at a very good price point. And I think at the time the cheapest camper trailer was around $12,000, and we could put this into the market at $5,000. So it was very successful. While we were running that product, we were still doing other things, but it ended up that the camper trailer sort of took over our world. It became the focus of our attention because everything else was sort of falling by the wayside, and that's where the most inquiry and the most sales was. So that's where we started to look to develop that market.
So that's so interesting. So you could have been MDC pumps or MDC agricultural equipment. Yeah,
well, not so much MDC, but it was always Market Direct. So
Market Direct,
for instance, if it was going to be EVs, it'd be Market Direct EVs, or if it was going to be tables, it'd be Market Direct tables. So, I mean, that's the power of the brand. Market Direct could be anything.
Yeah.
And, direct to market is direct to consumer. That's what we do.
Yeah, wow, fascinating. But you've got we didn't talk so much about your private life, but you come from a camping background. Have you camped all your life? Or have you got like an affinity with the industry?
Camping and fishing was always an interest that we did as a family. We weren't from a well-to-do background. So, there was no boating, but definitely fishing and camping was an experience for us. Yeah. And it was camping in just a tent, a normal tent. That
Describe that experience, because I've got a few horror tent experiences as a child.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours.
Yeah, literally.
And
through the tarpaulin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything starts to collapse and everything's wet.
Yeah.
And you look back at that and you look at a camper trailer, you're sleeping off the ground. Perfect.
Yeah, so that was the initial, so that's how you got into it, which is so interesting. When did you become more towards caravans? Because when I knew you straight up, it was all camper trailers. And then one day I turned around and all of a sudden we had a few caravans. How did that evolve?
Yeah, so soft floor camper is where it started.
Yep.
Then the next development was the hard floor camper, rear fold, hard floor camper, forward fold. We were the first guys that actually built that product in China. And then the natural progression then is a small caravans. Yeah. We see what everyone else is doing in the industry, and as how can we be a part of that?
So you said that magic word, China. So were you one of the first manufacturers that were openly manufacturing in China and talking about it? Fill me in on that.
Yeah. When it takes camper trailer tent, we can't say we were the first to do that.
Yeah.
Refold, hard floor camper, absolutely the first. Forward fold, hard floor camper, absolutely the first. Hybrid caravans, we were the first one to develop a hybrid caravan in the end of 2013. We had that market to ourselves for quite a few years, 3 to 4 years before other products in the market were developed in China by neighbouring factories.
Wow.
So essentially, any hybrid camper that you see in Australia is a derivative or a copy of the MDC product. And there's no one here that can argue that.
Yeah, because it's a fact.
Yeah, and we just came away from the Caravan Industry of Australia National Conference
that's recent.
last week, and I catch up with our competitors that are also doing products out of China, and we joke about that. We are the first, and we talk about like those guys were doing the same things we were doing back in the day, like ATVs, go-karts, mini bikes, and then when
they started the same way.
When we went into camper trailers, they sort of gone, this looks like a good idea, and they've copied. And we joke about it, but we're also very friendly. And so I talk to the business owners that are doing those similar products. At the end of the day, we're all family businesses and we all have to be successful, and there's enough market there for each of us. So, when you go to those events, it's about networking and what's working for you, what's not working, and, sharing a little bit of information, but also just keeping it friendly.
Oh, that's actually really nice to hear, because in a lot of industries you don't get that and it can be really competitive. Let's talk about mindset, because that always fascinates me about you, because I know your humble beginnings and no uni degree.
No.
No uni degree.
I failed university twice.
Oh, that's impressive.
And I failed IT twice. However, I'm still the person that people will come to when they have IT problems in the office.
I know that for a fact. Yeah.
And quite often I can sort them out and get people going. But, we do have an outsourced IT company for the more difficult stuff.
Yeah.
But, coming from my background, I think that's been helpful for growing the business as well, because technology is always a thing you need to,
master.
Embrace. Otherwise, you can't grow.
But you have a mindset, and we were only talking about it in a meeting this morning about, AI and being at the front of waves. Not certainly you want to ride the wave with people, but you tend to be at the front. You're at the front of the wave with manufacturing in China, and technologically we're at the front now. What mindset have you got? Because it didn't come from a university background. Doesn't sound like it was fed to you from your parents. What do you think you have in your makeup that makes you a leader?
Yeah, I don't know where that actually comes from, because it wasn't taught, but my belief is you've always got to be at the top of your game, and you always have to embrace new technologies, ways of doing things, how you think, what is the market doing, how do you have to adapt to survive? Because if you keep doing the same thing over and over, the market might change and it might not work. For instance, you look at back in the day, Kodak and Polaroid, or you would print your photos on the little film, right? And the digital age came along and they didn't adapt, and so they died.
Blockbuster videos.
And so, when we look at things like AI, obviously at the Caravan Industry Conference we just had last week, there was big focus, and a lot of the keynote speakers were talking about AI. And, my belief is you look at all the information that's out there on the internet. Up until a few years ago, computers can go learn that. And so when you're looking for some sort of information or how to do something, or, it's just so much smarter than what we are, because it just puts that all together very quickly and efficiently.
Do you reckon you can see trends? Do you think that's one of your strong skill sets as an entrepreneur, that you can actually future predict where things are going to go, and so you can be at the front of the curve and not at the back of the curve?
In this industry, yes, for sure. Being a very strong company in this industry, we actually attract very good people. And so my job as the owner is to employ people that are smarter than me, and I've got no hassle saying that at all. That's what we need in this business. But also, you know, when you do go to these conferences, you get to interact with people that are working in other businesses that are bigger than yours and more successful than yours. You can learn from them just by talking to them.
Yeah.
Or also, you know, being the nice guy and just showing people how you are and how you interact is there might be opportunities down the track. And, you know, typically these guys know what's coming from suppliers. So we will get a heads up from our suppliers what's coming 12 months down the track. So we can start designing caravans to actually fit those products. And I guess it's about having those networking relationships and being able to see what new products are coming to actually see what the future looks like. But also off the back of that is listening to your customers, what they're doing online, what they're talking about in the various owners groups, what their pain points are, modifications that they do that you might be able to incorporate into your product quite often. You know, we ask customers when they come up with a great mod, can we actually use that on our product next year? And they're like, yeah, that'd be great.
Who's going to say no? Like, you know, we're all egotistical creatures. Like that's a buzz to have the owner of the company that you have a caravan from actually ask if you can use your mod. That's amazing. So what I'm hearing you say is that collaboration and networking and speaking to people is a really big part of the way you do business now?
Absolutely.
Has it always been that way?
No.
You know where I'm leading.
So right from the start, when you do start a business, you think you can do everything better than everyone else.
100%.
And so you don't trust people to do things, even the day-to-day tasks. And I think any entrepreneur you come across, they're one of the things when you do go find a mentor is one of the first things they try to beat out of you is to get out of the day-to-day and work on the business and not in the business.
Trust people.
Yeah.
Trust they know what they're doing.
And it's hard because it's your baby. And, you know, at the start, you're doing the 16-hour day, 7 days a week, year after year, and it's hard to
that's all you know.
let that go.
When I met you, that was just who you were. That was just, it was so acceptable, and it was so acceptable to you. You stopped querying that was any different, I guess. And probably because you did you have any mentors at that time, other people in business at the same level as you that you could look at and just go, how come they've got so much time and I don't? Like,
no.
So you didn't have anyone around you. Were really insular.
Yep.
Yeah, fascinating. So there must be a pivotal moment somewhere in there where that changed for you, that you just decided, I'm assuming there has to be a moment. When did it change where you started bringing more people into the organisation and actually trusting them and getting some time back?
Yeah, like I always say, I've always been a lucky guy. I guess things fall into my lap. But
some would call that lucky. I would call that manifesting, but, you know.
Yeah, well, you have to make your own luck. And I think it's just seeing opportunity.
Yeah.
And we spoke about it in the previous interview, obviously Steve Dorr from BCF. Yeah. And so he taught me a lot of things, how to be a better business owner, how to bring people into your team. Obviously he had contacts that were looking to move on and do other things. And so they came and did some time with us as well, which helped grow our business, you know, pretty quickly. Have
you got any funny stories about back in those days when you were doing everything that you could reflect upon and have a little bit of a laugh at yourself so people can feel a bit more like...
Yeah, funny stories, I don't know. It was just a lot of work. There wasn't really much funny about it at all.
It wasn't, was there? No. Just a whole... Did you ever burn out? Did you ever get to a point where you were worried about your health at any point, that somebody pulled you aside and actually sort of had a chat? It was just going, you're going to burn out at some point? Or
no, not really. I guess one of the things that employees don't like, and one thing I've learned, is you have to respect their time. So back in the day, they would be getting the 1 a.m, 2 a.m. emails because
sure, I got a few of those.
That's when I was working, but we're talking 10 years ago, right?
Stupid thing was I was working at the same time though too.
Exactly, so I get a quick response. But, you know, we don't do that anymore. Yeah. And I guess one of the secrets to being a good business owner is to be good to your people, because you need to respect their time, respect their needs, and what actually drives them. So some people are driven by money. Some people are driven by, I want to have family time on the weekends or outside of hours with my family, or, you know, or some people have families where they have their children on different weekends. So how can you do things differently so they can actually have that time off with their family? And, you know, you have to be flexible.
Yeah, absolutely. And treat everybody as an individual and not just as another number, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. And you have to make people feel important and part of the team, which
Yeah.
they all are at MDC, because people actually choose to work with you. You don't get to choose them.
That is such a good mindset shift, isn't it? It's like, yeah, they're interviewing you at the interview just as much as you're interviewing them in this day and age. People have got a lot of awareness about what they want. They want a type of lifestyle and they want to make sure you can provide that for them as well.
Absolutely.
So when did you have that mindset shift? Because that's different to, say, 10 years ago. Did something happen or did it just evolve?
I think it's just through coaching and learning how to do things better.
Yeah.
So, up until around 2015, I didn't really have that mentorship or didn't know how to do things. I was just winging it.
So Steve Doyle was probably like the first person that came in.
Yeah, and then with Steve, we recruited good people that you actually learn from them.
Yeah.
For instance, some of the good people we do let go and then they can come back.
They always come back.
Yeah, they do, because the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So we look at the likes of Richie Fort. He was here when the company went through exponential growth for around 6 years.
Yeah.
And recently he decided to go do other things for a year.
Yeah.
And then became available to talk to.
Yeah.
And so just called him up and said, hey, mate, what are you doing? Is there any chance we can have a conversation? And then 2 days later, he's back here at MDC and he's running our US business at the moment.
He's great. We're going to get him on the podcast too, definitely. And the nice thing to know, I think that's one of your big points of difference, and that's why I came across to the company as well, even though we've had the world's longest association, but it's the direct access that your people get to you, which I think it's like an organisational chart where there's so many levels from the owner to then going down through all the divisions, but most people, everyone in the company they're on this line and you're right there and they get access to you.
Yeah, and we do have a natural hierarchy of things, but anyone can come to me and talk at any time.
And that's the difference, is that that's the philosophy of the company. I think it comes through, and that goes for customers as well, because I know from personal experience, you go out on camping trips and we do the bash thing. When you're available, you go to that. There's tag-along trips. When you're available, you go to those. Has that always been the way for you? I think it has, hasn't it? That is something you've always done in the way you run your business, is that you're available.
Yeah, I think, being in the caravanning camping industry, when you're out doing R&D on the product and you're, with customers, you're naturally going to form those relationships. And even with the team at MDC, we'll be going on a film shoot in a few weeks' time, and I'm not there running it. I'm just there to tow a van because there's an extra body in the office that can actually be taken out. And it's not going to affect running of the business. But we'll also be there with guys that are on the workshop floor, that the good guys get a bit of a junket where they get to come out camping with us for a few days.
100%, I love it.
And so you build those relationships, because at the end of the day, those trips are long hours, 12-hour days, but at the end, we're sitting around a campfire having a few beers at the end of it, and that's where you get to build those relationships. And, I don't get around to everyone on the factory floor all the time, but I do know some people that obviously been with us for 10 years. But, the new guys too will hear about, hey, I was out with Vaughan and the team at Double Island Point doing a photo shoot for 3 days. It was great. He's actually a good guy.
Except he's got lousy taste in music.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
We're going to touch on that in a minute.
Righto.
Where did your absurd like of doof doof music come from?
I like the sort of pump them up. I'm a very passionate person, and so what gets me going is listening to dance music.
Just be honest.
It just gets me going. Like, I can work all night.
Yeah.
Something that I do, and I think we're going to touch on this later, is what do I do to relax and chill out?
Yeah.
So I live on a 1 acre property.
Yeah.
And so it's mostly grass, but we'll get out there and we'll actually hand mow that.
I know, you don't have a gardener, I can't believe it.
No.
Yeah.
And it takes about 6 hours to mow the whole thing, because we do it by hand, we don't do ride-on. And, I'll have the little Apple iPods sitting in and I'll be listening to the dance music, and that's my relaxation.
That's hilarious.
I guess it just gets the blood pumping and you start thinking about things, and creates more energy for me anyway.
Oh my God. I know. Well, a whole lot of people that go camping with you can attest to it as well.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's so funny. How else do you like to relax? That's a good question.
Well, see, being in caravan camping, right, I get lots of trips out.
You do?
And so I get to combine work and leisure together. So
Yeah.
we're actually doing things that are important for the company, but at the same time, I'm still chilling out. So
that is how you like to actually spend your time.
yeah. So, you know, when we're out filming on the beach, we have a saying, hurry up and wait.
Oh, yeah.
And so basically, you know, while the camera guy, while
Yeah.
he's setting up, we're just sitting there going, oh, how good's this, sitting in the car. Put
It's
the
not
windows
work.
down,
It's
you've
not
got,
work.
you know, you've got the breeze, you're sitting on the beach waiting for instructions, and that's very relaxing.
A fishing rod might come out.
Oh, absolutely. Well, once a year over Easter, we always go to, and this is a private thing, we go to Fraser Island.
Yeah.
And so we don't take the caravan for that one. We
Yeah.
actually rent a house at Orchid Beach,
Yeah.
but that is fishing straight for 7 days.
I know. Oh, crazy. What, talk to me about health. I wasn't going to ask this question, but I am going to because I know you very well. So you used to be a much larger man.
Yeah, I was 135 kilos,
Yeah.
wringing wet.
Yeah.
Decided a few years ago to get a little bit healthier.
Yeah.
And part of the reason for that was I went on a China trip. And so travelling on a plane and walking around factories, my ankles started to swell up, which wasn't really cool.
No.
And so when I came back, went to see some doctors and say, you know, do a lot of tests and what is this all about? And they couldn't actually put a finger on it, what it was. And so at that point I decided, well, look, I'm going to lose some weight, go back to the gym, which I did. And then I got back down to like 100 kilos, but now I'm about 120, but I'm not 135. So, you know.
You didn't have to reveal all the numbers, but it's very nice of you to do
Yeah.
it. But health, it's so impressive, I think, as an entrepreneur and a business owner. Like, you can't keep running a company if you're working till late hours. You know, it's going to fall apart at some point. So it's nice to have seen that you've changed a lot of things in your life, not just the hours you work, but you've also changed your health habits, you know.
Yeah, well, that all comes down to building a team.
Yeah.
So that, you know, I'm not doing 16-hour days anymore. I'm there after hours when the team needs me, so you'll always get me on Skype or on mobile if people need things, particularly working with our US team.
Yeah.
That's like very early mornings. And so in the evenings now, I'm in bed pretty early, not like how it used to be.
You said something before about what drives your team, which I thought was really interesting, and I meant to ask you when we got sidetracked, but what drives you?
Now the team drives me. So we have 155 employees in Australia and around 35 employees in the US. So at the moment, you know, my job is to make sure that the company is successful. That's a big wage bill that we have to pay every Wednesday. And these people, livelihoods actually, at the end of the day, I bear that weight, I guess.
Personally. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, and you know, we have to make sure that the company's successful week after week, which it is. But yeah, I guess at the moment that's what drives me is the team. And we've had some people with MDC for a very long time.
Yeah.
And so they've shown me loyalty, and so I'll show loyalty back to them.
Yeah. Loyalty, I know you personally, loyalty is incredibly important to you. What else is important to you as far as values go?
Values.
Yeah, I know. It's a touchy-feely subject. We talk about, I'll give you a lead in.
Yes, please.
Family.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. We talk about the MDC family a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a really big one. But what else drives you? I'd love to know, just on a personal...
I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I just love what I do.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's not like work.
Yeah.
And so...
So personal fulfillment?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I've just been doing it so long, it's what I do. If I'm not doing some sort of work or thinking about the business, and it won't be full on like doing stuff on the computer.
Like it used to be, yeah.
Yeah, then I guess I get a little bit lost. I can't completely switch off, but I'm not going 100 miles an hour all the time.
Yeah, you're not in burnout mode either. Do you think that's a common trait for most entrepreneurs and high-level business owners, that they do have that incredible attachment to their business, and it's not just a thing it's certainly not a thing you do between 9 and 5, it's just who you are?
I think so, absolutely. I guess you got to be wired a special way to put the hard yards in up front. And that's the choice that people make.
Do you reckon everyone could be an entrepreneur?
I don't think so, because people have different ideas on what they want to do.
Think different things that drive them.
There's people in my family that they'll do the 9 to 5 and that's it.
Yeah.
Monday to Friday, and there won't be an extra minute.
Yeah.
But there's people in my business that will go above and beyond.
Yeah.
And that's where you need to have flexibility. So, what I do love about my team, and this goes pre-COVID, right? So I think it was in April 19, maybe, COVID's just come along. We don't know what's going to go on.
Yeah.
We've got half our customers ringing up saying, we don't know what's going on. We need a refund on our deposit. We don't need our camper anymore.
Because the world's closing down and we're never going to get out ever again.
Exactly.
I remember it was doom and gloom.
And when you talk about being good to your people, the government brings in a $750 per week payment.
I remember.
Right?
Yeah.
We said to our team in the office, we're going to send everyone home. Whatever your hourly rate is, we're going to divide $750 by your hourly rate, and we only expect you to do that many hours per week. Some unscrupulous bosses said, you're going to still do 38 hours per week, but we're only going to pay you $750.
Oh, that's outrageous.
And that really upset a lot of people. We weren't like that. And
because that's the loyalty thing that you were talking about before.
Yeah.
If you want loyalty, you got to give loyalty.
Yeah, and so people went home for a month. They could have been looking for other jobs. They were still happy to help out and get things done. We didn't ask too much. And then, the industry got turned on its head and it's like, everyone back in the office, let's go.
Come on.
And we didn't lose anyone because we did the right thing.
Amazing.
But there's other businesses I've heard of that were screwing over their employees, and so they've gone, well, this isn't good. I'm off to go do other things. And that hurts your business. One of the important things being a business owner is to keep your team.
That's where all your value is. That's where years of training and knowledge and experience.
Exactly. And if you've got a continual change of people, you're continually changing and you're not going to get anywhere. Continually training, sorry.
Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying. Have you got, what's something that you're incredibly proud of in your business?
In our business was achieving RV MAP. We were the first importer to get RV MAP.
So just explain what RV MAP is.
RV MAP is the industry accreditation where you have to jump a lot of hoops in regards to how you treat customers, from sales to post-sales. The quality of your product must meet all Australian standards. You just have to run a better business and overall do the right thing. Yeah. It's an industry accreditation which is heavily scrutinised. So every time we have a new product, typically it's inspected and they look for faults or things that don't meet Australian standards. And it holds us to a higher level. Yeah. So having achieved RV MAP, being the first importer to do that, I'd say that would be our proudest moment.
Yeah, oh, that's amazing. And what I like about that is that that's voluntary. No one's holding a gun to your head saying you've got to do it. So I'm sort of hearing from what we're talking about is that being the first for things is kind of important to you?
Yeah, I think so. You're always looking for that competitive advantage and how you can do things better than other businesses, because you may be aware, Melissa, but businesses will copy what you do and they will watch you intensely, and you've always just got to be that one step ahead. I mean, you look at the decals on our caravans. We start doing a fancy decal with splashes and slashes and whatever, and then all of a sudden, then all of a sudden everyone's doing it.
Yeah, and you can see it a mile away.
Yeah, and, we've got the processes in place that we can do a really good quality decal, and you can see the ones that are cheap and nasty and, almost done in paint, which is my skill level when it comes to doing things that are artistic. But lucky I got, good team members that can knock that stuff up.
The thing is, and what we've always talked about, is that whilst there's a lot of copying in many industries, this industry is rife for it. No one can copy the essence of your people and the passion and that's what you're talking about today. No one can copy the service department, you know, getting back to people and following good processes, which is all part of the RV MAPS accreditation, is the processes that are put in place and helping people and assisting them, and the late night responses on Facebook groups and things that all are very people-oriented responses. So would you say that as a leader in business that you have to be quite people-focused to be able to inspire your people to be able to give that kind of service, which is the difference between you and another company a lot of the time?
Yeah, I think, and you'll probably hear this a lot, you know, I would not expect my team to do anything that I wouldn't do.
But that's true though.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, typically online late at night, if a customer's having a problem and one of my team hasn't jumped in already and I happen to be there, like I'll jump in and see if I can help.
That's true. Yeah. So you think there that being a people-oriented person is a good trait for being an entrepreneur or business owner? Is it necessary, not necessary? What do you think?
I think you have to be when you're trying to scale your business, or else, you know, you're not going to be able to bring anyone on the journey.
So who taught you how to be better with people?
Better with people. Yes. We always go back to Steve Doyle, of course.
So yeah, it was Steve Doyle?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
we talked
amazing.
about it in the last podcast where
that's all right.
he basically gave Melinda and I the ultimatum that if you're not nice to your people, I'm going to walk.
Yeah. I just didn't know if there was any other mentors. So he really was quite a pivotal mentor for you. Have there been other mentors, that even people online that you follow, or books that you read, or sessions that you've seen, you know, from live training, people that inspire you?
I get a little bit skeptical about the online gurus. And so, like, whilst I look at everyone and I take it on board, you've got to be able to sort the wheat from the chaff.
Yeah.
You know, who's actually
Who's
put
doing
the hard
it?
yards
Who's doing it?
on the... Who's put the hard yards in?
Yeah.
Who's actually there to help you?
Yeah.
Or are they there to help themselves?
So authenticity.
Absolutely. But I think anyone that's had a really large success in business, you know, they're the trusted sources and the ones that you can, you know, believe and follow, and, you know, I guess doing their keynotes. But will you get one-on-one time with those people? Probably not. Like Sir Richard Branson and, you know, of the likes.
How do you deal with stress?
Stress? I mow my lawn.
Okay. Really? Seriously?
Yeah, well, it's that big that I don't do it 6 hours straight.
Yeah, okay.
It's 4 times a week.
Okay, so that, all right, that's pretty cool.
I was there yesterday for an hour.
Just
So
debriefing.
at our place, we've got the front, the back, and the back. And so it's like, what are we mowing today? Well, it's going to be the front.
That's hilarious. What would be your message to any young budding entrepreneurs out there who are listening to this and quite inspired because they didn't go to uni either, and they might have kind of a bit of a humble job like yourself when you're a croupier, but they've got some big dreams and they might be working, you know, squirreling some money away, and they want to go out there and do something. Do you have any advice that you would give anybody that is that way inclined about how to run a business? Yeah,
I think once you find a successful product, or, you know, some sort of business where you're doing things, is when you can afford it, get people into your business that are good at doing things that you're not good at doing, or things that you don't want to do. Yeah. For instance, I don't want anything to do with accounting. Yeah. So I have good accountants in my business that take care of all that work. Yeah. Where I want to play is product development, marketing. Yeah. That's my space. Yeah. And, you know, be good to the team, take the team on the journey. Nice. Last question. Yeah. It's been wonderful. Thank you very much. Do you have any predictions for the future? What do you see for the caravan industry, for the leisure industry in general? What do you see anything? Is there a place that we're all going? Are we headed? I'm not sure at the moment. So there's a lot of things going on in the vehicle side of things with EVs. And what is that going to look like? So, you know, there's a lot of EV utes coming out in the next year or so. You know, how is that technology going to develop? Are we going to adopt that technology in Australia? might be in 5 or 10 years' time when the batteries are longer range. But what does that mean for vans too? You know, if these vehicles are running off 48 volt, do we have to have 48 volt systems in our caravans? They're all things we need to think about.
That's amazing. Yeah, I've never even given that a second thought.
I don't even know what voltage an EV runs off.
Yeah, most people probably wouldn't. But yeah, so that's, yeah, I guess you can't do things in isolation anymore, can you? You've got to look at all the other components and things that go with it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, when you look at tow rigs, there's some vehicles out there now that fly.
Yeah.
So, you know, what happens to the caravan industry if you can have family vehicles that can fly in and out of destinations?
Like literally fly?
Yeah, that might change things.
Oh my God, the Jetsons.
Exactly. So not sure what the future holds, but
Yeah.
we'll always be at the forefront. And that's why we're a big contributor to the Caravan Industry Association of Australia, because, you know, they have a wide team that's always travelling international, talking to other countries and their national bodies on what's happening in their market, and then bringing that information back to us. And once a year we have the conference. These are all the questions. So I think EVs will have a big influence on the caravan industry in the long term.
In the production of how caravans are made to be able to suit the EVs, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, how do they integrate together? So that might be on the voltage system. EVs typically don't have they don't travel as far as a petrol vehicle and, say, a tank of fuel. And so do they have to be built lighter? Are people going to still, if everything was EV, can people still travel into the outback?
Yeah.
You know, these are all questions. And so does that mean the outback becomes all sealed roads and
Well, that was my next
every
question.
couple hundred kilometres there's a charging station? You know, I don't know.
God, I hope not.
Yeah, but I guess, you know, being a member and contributing to national bodies, we stay abreast of what the current trends are and what things are happening in other countries. And so when these things happen and there is change, you know, we're first to know about it. And so we can look at our products and, you know, make sure that we adapt to things that are changing in the market to make sure that, you know, in the long term that we're still here as a viable business.
Yeah, so it's been 15 years, hasn't it?
Oh.
In the caravan, like in
caravanning.
the trailers and caravans.
Yes. Caravanning, camping, 17, 18.
Yeah.
The business we're looking at around 19 years.
Yeah.
Coming into 20 since we were first incorporated, which was June 29, 2005.
Fantastic. Is there a saying? Is there something that you live your life by, like a motto or something?
I do. One team, one dream.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah.
And that's all about the MDC team that, you know, we collaborate together and, you know, work together for the benefit of ourselves and also our customers.
Thank you so much, Vaughan. Always so much knowledge, and you've been really generous with a lot of the information. Thank you so much. If you've got a question for Vaughan, honestly, put it down in the comments, because I think we're going to do more. I always love talking with you. We can do some more episodes, and if you've got specific questions you'd like Vaughan to answer and really open up about and get the truth, because not a lot of people are prepared to do that, ask the questions down below and share this with other people that you think might get a lot of value from this. So thank you, Vaughan.
Awesome. Thank you, Melissa.
It's been a pleasure.
Cheers.
Thanks so much for listening in. We really hope that you enjoyed it. If you want to see more from us, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you comment down below and share with all of your camping buddies. And most importantly, why don't you join the Facebook group? It's called MDC and Oz RV Owners Group, and that's where you can go and get all of your camping questions answered.